circular gist for the month of August 2022 with all possible MCQs of this month. And it is one of the most popular shows from Knowledgist and widely accepted RBI circular gist. And this class is mostly beneficial for professional bankers who are preparing for professional exams like promotion exam, lateral entry exam, etc., RBI, Grade B, all crucial exams. And in case you are a newcomer to the channel, don't hesitate to subscribe us. And you can download 1 year RBI circular gist from the links provided in description. You are watching this show from Knowledgist, India's only dedicated professional banking platform or banking lateral entry platform. We produce 80% plus success rate, successful students in this segment, and time is not to be wasted. Let's start, and you can join all our courses from our website knowledgeist.in. Yes, these are the policy rates and reserve ratios for the month of August 2022. As you know, there was a bi-monthly policy review, and these are the rectified and new rate or revised rates for that matter. You can see policy repo rate stands at 5.4 percentage. STF, which is newly launched by Reserve Bank of India, stands at 5.15 percentage. Can you please be telling me what is the full form of SDF? And then MSF at 5.65, so is the bank rate, and fixed reverse repo rate stands revised at 3.35 percentage. The reserve ratios for this bi-monthly policy is 4.5 and SLR is 18 percentage. All your questions, all your doubts, please put it in the comment section. Our experts are going to answer it. Okay. Yes, SDF means the standing deposit facility, and the current rate is 5.15 percentage. They may ask a new question. They may ask a question about it because it's a new phenomena or newly launched terminology. So please be aware of SDF. A dedicated video is there in the description. You all are watching us from LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Wherever you are watching us, you can join us in YouTube for a better class experience. Okay, let's go into it. Reservation for SC/ST beneficiaries under major central sponsored schemes. In various central sponsored schemes, there is a special reservation for SC and ST beneficiaries. So we will be looking into all the data, all the schemes where SC/STs are the beneficiary, and Reserve Bank of India has released a consolidated data for this month, and we will be analyzing what are the schemes where SC and STs are the major beneficiaries, or they have a certain percentage of reservation in respect of beneficiaries. And it is going to be very crucial for your exam point of view. There are several major centrally sponsored schemes under which credit is provided by banks and subsidy is received through various government agencies like CGTMSE, etc., CGFMU, etc. Credit flow under these schemes are monitored by Reserve Bank of India, and in each of these schemes, the SC/ST communities are the major beneficiaries. They have certain relaxation or reservation, you can say. Okay, so yes. So first we'll look into Day NRLM, Din Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission, previously known as NRLM. It was launched by the Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. Any point of it could be a MCQ for you. Who launched NRLM or the Day NRLM for that matter? This is Ministry of Rural Development by GOI. And by restructuring the erstwhile Swarna Jayanti Grama Swarajgar Yojana, which is a UPA government scheme. When the NDA government came into power, they have renamed it as Din Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. In 2013, it was Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarajgar Yojana. Okay, and this Day NRLM would ensure adequate coverage of vulnerable sections of the society. Vulnerable means the weaker sections of the society, such as 50% of these beneficiaries should be SC and STs. So whenever there are the Day NRLM scheme beneficiaries count, you must find 50% of them are SC/STs, as it is directed by Reserve Bank of India. Okay. The same scheme, if launched in urban areas, called NULM, and it is in rural areas, it is National Rural Livelihood Mission. What is National Rural Livelihood Mission? ये क्या है? Weakest section of society doesn't have adequate access to the credit management of bank, right? So for them, this day NRLM or day NULM scheme is launched. They can access an additional, not additional, a concessional loan from the government, from the banks, which is guaranteed by the government. Okay. Then day NULM same, but it is launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India, launched by day NULM, previously only known as NULM. It has restructured the erstwhile Swarna Jayanti Sahari Rozgar Yojana. See, the beneficiaries of these loans are the street vendors, etc. Okay, those who don't earn a lot, whose income is meager or very little, so they don't have adequate avenues to take a loan or to run a business in credit. So for them, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 10,000, 20,000 loan is enough to run a business. Like they will have a stall where they will do some kind of business, like pakoda, etc., samosa, etc. They will be selling that. So for them, 20,000 is enough. These schemes are for these section of society or vulnerable section of society. As we spoke in NRLM, there is 50% reservation for SC/ST, whereas in day NULM, the advance should be extended to the SC/ST to the extent of their strength in the local population. If in the local population the SC/ST community has a 50% share, in the day NULM scheme of that certain area, the share of loan to be given to SC/ST beneficiaries to be 50%. Clear? Yes, Samanvaya Bera, PMEGP is nowadays employee guarantee scheme that is being done after the COVID days. Okay, then the differential rate of interest scheme, DRI scheme. It is very essential for you to note about DRI, because many a times it is asked in bank exams or in promotion exam. What is DRI scheme? Differential rate of interest scheme. See, only in case of DRI scheme, any bank can lend to someone below its cost of fund. Clear? Otherwise, at any condition, no bank can give a loan to anyone below their cost of funds. You know, at the time of MCLR, we have to calculate the cost of fund. Then we charge spread over it, and final rate is calculated under it. Okay. So cost of fund is the minimum cost at which bank acquire deposit or money from the society, and above that banks has to lend. Okay, first there was base rate, then it was changed to MCLR. Now external benchmark linked lending rates, that is repo linked lending rates, nowadays they are prevalent in banks. So what is that? Banks get fund. If you talk about repo linked lending rate, repo at which banks get money from Reserve Bank of India, below which bank cannot fund to anyone, and above that they have to add the spread. The spread should always be zero or positive figure. It can never be in negative. You understand that? You understand that? So you have a cost of fund mechanism. How you calculate cost of fund? You are paying 0% in current account, 4% in savings account, 6% in FD. So overall acquiring deposits you pay 3%. The average cost you pay 3%. Okay. And when you give advances, certain amount goes into NPA, slips into NPA. So there is a high risk. So you have to add the risk premium to that. Okay. So finally you find or you come to a conclusion that your cost of fund is 6%. At 6% you acquire the fund which is available to you for lending. So below 6% you cannot lend anyone. Even if he is your director, you cannot give loans to your director nor a guarantee as per Banking Regulation Act. But anyone, be it the Videocon, like in the case of ICICI, the tented ex-CEO Chanda Kochar was framed for giving some for doing some preferential for giving some preferential rates to Videocon. So nothing can be done. No matter what profit you are going to get out of a lower interest rate, you cannot give a loan to any corporate, to anyone on the earth below your cost of funds, except in DRI. At DRI, you can give loans below your cost of funds. So, what is DRI scheme? That's why it is essential. Loan given to the weaker or vulnerable section of the community, which who are engaged in productive and gainful activities. So that doesn't mean you will give a loan to someone who is doing nothing. No, you will give someone a loan who is very vulnerable, very weak, like those who are street vendors, those who are earning 1,500 rupees per day. To make them earn a meaningful living, you will give them a loan. Okay, so what is the loan amount here? 15,000. What is the differential rate? 4%. We have simplified it. Just look at the points. You will get to know everything on earth about DRI. It's not complicated. Loan up to 15,000 at the rate of 4% to the weaker section of society. Clue is that they should be engaged in productive and gainful activities. And it is to be treated as priority sector lending under the subcategory of weaker section. You know, currently the weaker section target is at 11.5% from 2022 2023, and from next year onwards, next fiscal year onwards, 23 March onwards, the weaker section target under PSL is going to be 12%. Currently it is 11.5%. Okay, it comes under the subcategory of weaker section of PSL, this DRI scheme loans. So loan up to 15,000 and 4% interest rate. Hope you all are enjoying this session. If so, please give a thumbs up and do share max. And for SC/STs, because this session is dedicated for the SC/ST beneficiaries, 40% of total loan portfolio to be given to SC/STs. And what should be the land holding criteria for someone availing a differential rate of interest loan scheme? Up to 1 acre of irrigated land where the water supply is there, and up to 2.5 acres of unirrigated land where there is no water supply. And this same criteria of land holding is not applicable for SC and ST beneficiaries. Additionally, the SC/ST beneficiaries can get additional 20,000 loan for home loan purpose above the 15,000 limit. So that means an SC/ST beneficiary can get up to 35,000 loan, including 15,000 for business purpose and 20,000 for home loan purpose. So if someone is taking a loan for 20,000 to construct a house, you can understand what kind of society or community that could be. So only such people, such section of our society who needs a push for upliftment are to be awarded with these schemes. Okay, yes, this is 15% for RRB. Very good, Samanway. I think you have read everything at Knowledgist. 15% of weaker section target is there under PSL for RRBs. No target is there for urban cooperative banks. For all other banks, currently it stands at 11.5%. Now it is revised. Next year it will be revised to 12%. As it is being increased in a phased manner from 2021. Okay. Earlier it was 8%. Very good. All my students are informed and way ahead than our competitors. Very good. Okay. The same is there. Then the credit enhancement guarantee scheme for scheduled caste. This is also going to be very important for all of you. Okay. Yes. So what is this scheme? The Cgssc was launched by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment in the year 2015 with the objective of promoting entrepreneurship among the scheduled caste by providing credit enhancement guarantee to the member lending institutions. Member lending institution means banks and NBFCs, those who are giving loan to SC/STs. So the or the scheme is called Cgssc. Very important for your exam point of view. Anything related to the upliftment of society, to the vulnerable section of society. Government schemes are very important for your exam point of view. Do remember, and RRB aspirants must know that, and promotional exam aspirants also refer to this. Okay, what is CGSSC? It is a special enhancement guarantee scheme, like we have the CGTMSC scheme, etc. Okay, and the NCGTC scheme. It's an additional credit guarantee scheme for scheduled caste, and it was launched by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. That could also be important. Who gives the guarantee? IFCI Limited is selected as one of the nodal agency for providing the guarantee. IFCI, like ICICI, IDFC, it's a Industrial Development Financial Institution, Industrial Finance Corporation of India, or you can say a development finance institution like IDFC, etc., which is created in around the year 50s. So this same IFCI, established in 1948. I know IFCI because in way back in 2011, I used to invest in IFCI shares. At that time, it was 33 rupees. Thank God that uh, I have redeemed my share at a loss of 2-3 rupees, because now the share price of IFCI stands at 10 rupees, around 10 rupees. Okay, so IFCI is a company under the jurisdiction of Ministry of Finance. It's a government agency, government company. Okay, they have some subsidiaries, seven subsidiaries. So you must be knowing about IFCI, but not that important because they don't ask questions. Really, I have never seen a question being asked about IFCI in any exam for that matter. Okay, so yes, let's go ahead. And the IFCI, which is going to give a guarantee coverage under the CGSSC scheme, to whom it will give the coverage? SC or SC entrepreneurs or societies, companies, partnership firms, proprietorship firms, where the 51% stake or membership, or 51 percentage of shareholding is with an SC entrepreneur or with an SC beneficiary. Okay, also management control is with 51% of SC members. Okay, by in last 6 months. So then only that company, that firm, that agency, that society, that entrepreneur will be eligible to take a concessional loan or a loan guarantee from IFCI Limited. Clear? And the guarantee amount is 15 lakh to 5 crore. 0.15 crore means 15 lakh to 5 crore. What is the guarantee tenor? Up to 7 years, or the repayment period. If the loan is up to 5 years, then up to 5 years the guarantee is applicable. If it is a loan for 10 years, then the guarantee is for only 7 years. Understood? Is it understood to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? If it is so, please give a thumbs up. अगर अभी तक सब कुछ समझ में आ रहा है आपको, तो एक बड़ा सा thumbs up कर दीजिए. Okay, and those who have not subscribed us, kindly subscribe, join our dedicated Telegram channels. Thank you. Yes. Now we will be discussing about circular on credit facilities to the minority community. Okay, it is very important also to know about the loans given to the minority communities. Now we discussed about SCSTs. Now all the circulars of Reserve Bank of India, which is dedicated towards the loans given to minority community. The benefits flowing from the various government sponsored schemes, scheduled commercial banks are advised to keep the flow of bank credit smooth to minority communities. At least a list of 121 minority concentration districts having at least 25% of minority population is enlisted by the government, excluding the state union territories where minorities are in majority. So these schemes where minorities are not in majority, in states where the Sikh community is high, like the states in Punjab, these schemes are not applicable for Sikhs, because Sikhs in Punjab are not minority, right? So other 121 districts where minority community is not in a majority, it is identified by the government where 25% of the minority community of India live. The minorities are people who belong to the religion of Sikhism, Muslims, Christians, Zoroastrians, Buddhists, and Jains. So, all these minorities of 21 districts are to be given a preferential loan treatment or preferential credit flow while giving them credit. So, it is also to be treated as top target of 11.5 percentage of ANBC or COBE of the PSL. So that means the loan given to these minority communities in 121 state, 121 districts are to be treated as loans given to the weaker sections of society. And the current year target is 11.5, next year 12%. It will be categorized as the same. Okay. So who deals with all that? NMDFC, National Minority Development and Finance Corporation. Yes, it is the apex body and which channelizes its funds through state minority finance corporation of each state or union territory. Clear? So NMDFC channelizes funds from the central government through state minority finance corporation. Each state has their state minority finance corporation. It promotes economic and development activities at the backward section of these minority communities. And there is a Prime Minister's new 15-point program for the welfare of the minorities. The objective is to ensure that an appropriate percentage of priority sector lending is targeted for the minority communities and given to them. The program should be implemented by central ministries or Department of Minority Concentration District. We have 121 minority concentration district in India. All scheduled commercial banks are required to ensure that the minority community receive equitable portion of the credit. Okay. Now the next slide or the next circular is all about the premature redemption under the gold monetization, which is to be payable in rupees. Earlier there was the clause of premature withdrawal, but now they have added one thing, that the premature closure of gold monetization scheme bonds is to be done through rupee only. The payment is to be made in rupee only. Reserve Bank has said the premature redemption means the foreclosure or the premature closure, like in the case of FDs and other bonds happen, will be payable in rupees, while on maturity, the depositors may choose to opt for physical gold. You know that government has launched the gold monetization scheme to harass Indian nationals for hoarding this yellow metal in their homes and forcing the governments to import a lot of gold from outside, which erodes or which drains our forex or foreign exchange reserve. So that's why the gold monetization scheme is launched in 2015. Indians has a lot of longing, lot of love towards this gold metal, yellow metal. So that's why we import a lot from Dubai, from other countries, from South Africa. So that erodes our foreign exchange reserve. So it makes, eventually it results in the trade deficit or current account deficit of the nation. So that's why government has launched in November 2015. In case of hoarding golds in our homes, there is a fear of theft. But in gold monetization scheme, you only hold a piece of paper. No matter if it is lost, you can go anytime to bank and redeem it by just showing just giving a indemnity bond. Okay. So and and there is also a scheme that upon maturity you can opt for a physical gold, but you can always redeem it. So there are three types of gold monetization scheme: short term, medium term, long term. Short term is for 1 to 3, medium is for 5 to 7. The long term is for 7 to 12 years. Prashant Jha, both physical gold and rupees, it is said by our experts. You are being guided in our live section in YouTube uh, by our mentors, by our educators. So many of our banking educators are also watching your live questions. As I am busy teaching you this very particular RBI circular gist, at the same time, our expert bankers from various public sector banks are joined us. We don't know who are they because so many of them are given access. So they are answering your comments. So also rely on the comments given to you by them. Okay, in the head of knowledgeist, you are being given the answer. During the launch, the scheme only facilitates accounts for individuals in the form of joint or single. However, in 2019, RBI revised the holding norms and also included charitable institution and central government in it. The RBI notification said that any entity owned by the central or the state government could also avail this scheme. Yes. Then liquidity facility, a liquidity adjustment facility, change in rate, as announced by the monetary policy statement dated 5 August 2022, it has been decided by the monetary policy committee. The following changes. These are on your screens. This time we have given you the access of full screen because many times students complained about the points on the screen. So we want our students to get the full access, full view of the content. Increase the policy repo rate under the liquidity adjustment facility by 50 basis point, that is 5.4. The standing deposit facility at 5.15, SDF and MSF and bank rate at 5.65. Initially we have shown you the prevailing rates for this by month. The MPC also decided to remain focused on withdrawal of accommodation to ensure that inflation remains within the following target. The target is 4 percentage plus minus 2. Okay, that means minimum 2, maximum 6 percentage. As it is currently very high, government has stopped following the accommodative stand. So what is the current stand? What is the current stand of monetary policy committee? Accommodative stand means they were not enhancing the rates. Now as they are enhancing the rate, what is the current stand of the government? We have discussed all type of stands of Reserve Bank of India's monetary policy in our RBI MPC class. Please refer to that session in our exclusive application or web portal. So what is the my question for all of you? What is the current government stand for this monetary policy of this month, of this 2 or 3 consecutive MPCs where the rates are being increased gradually? Please answer. If you are wrong, our experts will rectify you. I will request my experts to guide our students. Please answer and you will be rectified or you will be congratulated for right answer. So now all small finance banks, SFBs, are eligible for the authorized dealer category 1 bank license, like AD1 license. Okay, what is authorized dealers? Banks or institutions that are authorized to deal with foreign exchange are called authorized dealers. So you know how many times types of authorized dealers? There are 3 category of authorized dealers: category 1, category 2, category 3. There are selected banks, top banks, which are categorized under authorized dealer category 1 are top banks who are given the permission to deal with all kind of forex transaction, be it capital account transaction or current account transaction. All kind they are permitted to deal with all kind of forex transactions, issuing exchanging money, issuing a traveler's check, everything A to Z, anything that could be there, they are given the permission. Okay. So category D, there are selected entities which are given some non-trade related current account transaction. Category 3 are selected institutions or banks. They are given the permission to carry out specific foreign exchange transactions related to their business. Okay. Yes. Aspirants guide, you are asked a very good question. We have answered it. Please check our YouTube videos. Why rupee is falling and what government is doing to arrest the inflation. So I have taken a dedicated video on that. Please refer to that. You will be given. You will be. Will be. I will be sharing you the dedicated link of that class. You can find out why the rupee is falling. It is there in our channel for you for people appearing for the interviews of coming days. We have made it. Please check it. Why the rate is being increased? Okay. So just to push the demand for Indian rupee. Okay. Yes. So what we are talking about, the category, three category banks, AD1, AD2, AD3. Okay, authorized dealer Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3. Cat 1 is they have all the permissions. Reserve Bank of India said all scheduled small finance banks will be eligible for authorized dealer category 1 license after completion of at least 2 years of operation as AD category 2, if they are already having the permission or the license of being a AD category 2 bank. If they stay there in AD category 2 for 2 long years, then they will be eligible to apply or to upgrade themselves as AD category 1 bank. The move is aimed at giving more flexibility for SFBs to meet their customers' foreign exchange requirements. AD category 1 license is subject to various eligibility norms, including minimum net worth of 500 crore rupees. This is to be met by the SFPs. Capital to risk weighted ratio CRAR should not be less than 15%. Net NPA should not exceed 6% during previous 4 quarters and should have made profit in preceding 2 years, among others. These are the main criteria. Okay. So for eligibility criteria include the SFB should not have defaulted in maintenance of CRR, SLR during previous 2 years and should have sound internal control system and should not have any major regulatory and supervisory concerns. I think you know now all the criteria. There is a very good comment from Roshan Jha. I could not resist but tell about it. Sir, this session of yours is quite full of vital information. Would be curious to know how often this sort of classes take place. I would like to attend this. If you are a internal student, we have regular classes of banking almost in every alternative day. Depends upon the batch. And if the RBI circular gist is monthly one, we have monthly banking classes, monthly banking affairs classes, and full of additional classes related to credit and professional banking. Yes, now we are talking about RBI tightens bolt on loan recovery agents appointed by banks, NBFCs, and others. You have seen so many social media messages currently about the banks or the agents of various NBFCs, especially NBFCs like Uloton, Bajaj, etc. They are agents, may not be their employees, they are agents forcing the counterparty or the borrower at odd hours, doing all kind of using all kind of slangs, harassing them for loan recovery. So now Reserve Bank of India is strict in this regard, so they want stricter norms to be followed for appointing such recovery agents or RAH. Okay, many a times you have seen this kind of messages. There was the norm was the same, but RBI is little strict this time. Okay, so the guidelines came after RBI has observed the harassment cases of various REs. REs means reporting entities. For Reserve Bank is the regulatory agency, whereas the banks or NBFCs, urban cooperative banks are called REs or reporting entities. Okay. Taking into account certain recent developments, including borrowing incidents of unacceptable practices followed by RBI. So, by RH, RBI has tightened the norm, and which among the critical norms are borrowers are not to be met by the agents before 8 a.m. and after 7 p.m. Okay, for and they cannot make false claims and misleading representations. They cannot force them, etc. These are the stricter norms. You also be knowing, because in various loan departments, you also as a banker sometimes you also follow up with the customer for loan recovery. So remember, whatever demand is there from your bank, from your reporting authority, etc. Don't call any customer beyond 7 p.m. for loan recovery. In case he records it, you will be into a big trouble. Okay, threatening calls, anonymous calls, etc. Recently what happened, I will give you a very good example. I will also be telling the name. I don't have the issue because they have used the name. Agents from Bajaj Finance are calling repeatedly to my phone. They are calling me in a different name, like Suryakant. They are calling me and asking me, because I think someone has given my number wrongly. Suryakant, he has taken a loan of 10,000, 10,000 or 20,000 consumer loan. They are repeatedly calling me, and first they are calling me like police agents, and they are saying me that if you don't come to the court, we will sue you or we will send police to your home. I have recorded all that incident. I thought they are trying to loot money, but finally they gave me the I was also pretending to be that Suryakant. I even today also I got the call. Every time I get the call because they think that I am the defaulter of 20,000 rupees. So they are repeatedly calling me. I have the classic case of how people are being fooled. There is someone who is pretending to be Havaldar. He is giving me a number of an advocate, saying that please communicate to the advocate. The advocate can stop your arrest warrant. And this advocate is saying, I can stop your arrest warrant subject to you pay rupees 10,000 or 12,000 to settle the loan. So what a classic case of malfunction from these agents. They are not the authorized agents of Bajaj, but they are giving the account of Bajaj. When I asked to one of my students of HDFC, we found that whether this account is of Bajaj or not, we found 45 crore rupees in that current account. So we have no doubt that it was the account of Bajaj Finance headquartered in Pune. So these kind of things are very prevalent, and this circular should be followed by all commercial banks, all financial institutions, primary or one cooperative bank, reconstruction companies, etc. Okay. Then RBI issues norms on expansion of operation by district central cooperative banks. Since I have launched the RBI circular gist session 2 years back, I was always saying that RBI is nowadays very tighter towards NBFCs and urban cooperative banks. Things like this manner are example of this. Now RBI, when they have shut down many cooperative banks, they have put many cooperative banks under moratorium. At the same time, they are allowing central cooperative banks to open a new place of business through the circular. So that means they also want these cooperative banks to function but under the stricter guidance of Reserve Bank of India. Okay. So the criteria of expansion of business by such banks are follows. A bank can change its existing place of business outside the city or the local area village under which section of Banking Regulation Act, RBI Act, by taking permission from RBI, under which section, new place of bank, new place of business. Please tell me. The licensed bank should have completed at least 3 years of operation, capital adequacy ratio above 9%, no default in maintenance of CRR, SLR. You always know whenever Reserve Bank of India release any guidelines or allows banks for new operations or giving some kind of license or permission, they always ask for a good capital adequacy ratio, no default in CRR and SLR, NPA, NPA not beyond a certain criteria. So these are the benchmark criteria. Whenever you are getting a question and you have to eliminate out of these, always remember if RBI has given a permission, then the criteria should involve capital adequacy ratio and it should always above 9% because of the Basel norms. Okay. NPA beyond 5%, looking into the PCA framework into account, a CRR, SLR, in the preceding financial year, here for 1 year, and in the case of 82 banks, 81 banks for a small finance bank, it is preceding 2 years. Now the bank should have made net profit during the preceding 2 financial years. Profitability is vital. So last 2 years they should show profit. They should have good track record of regulatory compliance, audit related compliance, and they should have been placed under specific direction issued by RBI during preceding 2 financial years. Okay, now there is a very good concept, bilateral netting of qualified financial contracts and amendments. It is through the Netting Act of our government in 2020. It's a bilateral netting of qualified financial contract. Very good. Try to understand the concept. It's a global concept introduced in India through the Netting Act, but now it is being implemented by Reserve Bank of India. Now in all contracts where risks are involved, there should be the bilateral netting to be done. What is bilateral netting? That this agreement enables two counterparties, two parties, those who enter into an agreement are known as counterparties. When they are doing any financial contract to offset claims, to settle their claims against each other, to determine a single net payable obligation that is due from one counterparty to other, meaning that the payables and receivables are netted off. See the simple illustration in your screen. Like the A has to pay B bank rupees 500. Okay. B has to pay the A bank rupees 400. So that means the bilateral netting, you don't need to, A don't need to pay 500 to B, then B will pay 400 to A. So there will be the netting will be done. Only rupees 100, which is excess than the dues of B to be paid by A to B, which is rupees 100. This is as simple as that. So what happens in financial business? Various banks enter into various agreement, right? And there are multiple level of borrowing, lending, etc. takes place. There are swaps. So many things are being done between two banks. So in various banks, if a bank has some dues with bank B, and at the same time bank B has some dues to bank A, so without involving all these financial settlements, the final net amount, the net excess amount which is to be paid by one party to other, is only to be netted, or is only to be kept aside, or it is only to be, only that payment is to be made. So multiple payments, multiple settlements are not required. Is it clear? Is it clear to all of you? It's a global practice. It's a global practice. Bilateral netting is when two parties combine all their swaps into one master swap, creating one net payment instead of many between the parties. Right? Like, right? You have two friends. Someone has taken to you rupees 100 for tea. And the same person has given you a lunch someday, and he has borne your expenses. So finally, you have given him some amount, lent him some amount. So you don't settle all these additionally. You will sit down with him, you tell that you have given that day rupees 20 for my tea, rupees 50 for my lunch, rupees 200 for my conveyance, and I have lent you rupees 1000 that day. So finally, rupees 800 is payable from you, and rupees 1000 is payable to me. Sorry, 1000 is payable to me, and 800 is payable to you. So why don't you just give me rupees 200? It is as simple as that. Okay. Yes, bilateral netting reduces accounting activity, unnecessary accounting activity, complexity, fees associated with it. Because if I will do an EFT, I will pay rupees 5 with every transaction. So if there will be one transaction, one time fee will be paid. Okay. And in the event of bankruptcy, bilateral netting assures that the bankrupt company cannot only take payments while opting not to pay out with the swap. Okay. And what is the qualified financial contracts? Means the bilateral contract notified as a QFC by the relevant authority. Qualified finance market participants are the relevant authority by notification designed and entity regulated by the qualified financial market participant. Check all this when you are getting the PDF after this session. Those who have not access to our inside classes, they can purchase it from the website. And now SPDs can offer all foreign exchange trade facilities. Reserve Bank of see, there are primary dealers and standalone primary dealers. Primary dealers are the institutes, those who are allowed to deal with. They are given the license by RBI to deal with government securities. So there are certain companies, because banks can be primary dealers. There are certain companies who are only the primary dealers to deal with the government securities, etc. So now they are allowed to be allowed to do foreign transactions. RBI has allowed standalone primary dealers to offer all foreign exchange market making facilities. Currently, 7 standalone primary dealers and 14 bank primary dealers are there. These are very part of general awareness, professional banking. So look into it. We have so many MCQs to follow, 30 MCQs today. Okay, so first MCQ on your screens, because you have the time for 10 p.m. class, I will request our educators to extend the class by 5 minutes so that we will cover it. In case you have not yet subscribed us, do subscribe. You can download the RBI circular gist from link in description. And yes, here are the Telegram link. And the first question on your screens. Reservation for SC/ST beneficiary under day NRLM is what percentage as per the circulars of August 2022? Your answers, please. Very good. Very good. It is 50 percentage. It is 50 percentage. Okay. Option B is the right answer. I'm very happy that even before my options are given, you have answered it. Second question on your screens. Banks have been advised to grant eligible borrowers belong to SC/ST such as advances to the extent of not less than what percentage of total DRI advances? So the question is essentially saying what percentage of DRI advances is to be given to the SC/STs. DRI का टोटल एडवांस टोटल पोर्टफोलियो का कितना परसेंटेज मिलना चाहिए SC/ST को? आंसर सबका सही है, 40%. वेरी गुड. द आंसर इज 40%. Next question on your screens. Under the DRI scheme, banks provide finance up to 15,000 at a concessional rate of interest of what percentage to the weaker section of the society? 2745. What is the interest rate on DRI scheme is what I'm asking. If you loved this session and all the single MCQs that is being given to you, please share this session, max. Give a thumbs up, because I can bet you nowhere in internet such a class of RBI circular gist is being taking place. So I definitely believe that you will be loving our hard work. So many educators are behind this for simplifying all the RBI circulars for you and deriving the top MCQs, all possible MCQs, and it is nothing but the 4%. Very good. Very good. All of you are right. Next question on your screens. Member of SC/ST satisfying the income criteria can also avail a housing loan up to what amount for beneficiary? Amount for beneficiary. Your answers, please. Your answers, please. It is 20,000. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, next class will be delayed for 5 minutes. Next internal 10 p.m. class will be delayed for 5 minutes. I will be concluding the session within 5 minutes. It is 20,000 additional. Beyond that, 15,000. So that means the home loan aspirant can take up to 35,000 rupees. 15 for business, 20 for home loan. The eligibility criteria for non-SC/ST category under DRI, the size of land holding should not exceed how many acres for irrigated and how many acres for unirrigated land? 1 or 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 1.5, 1 and 2.5. Your answers. We have 15 odd MCQs to cover. Be little fast. I know all of you know the answer. I know all of you know the answer. Yes, many of you are right. Many of you are right. D is the right answer. It is 1 and 2.5 acre of unirrigated, 1 acre of irrigated. Irrigated means where the water supply is there. And yes, it is not applicable for SC/STs. NMDFC is the apex body and channelizes funds through State Minority Finance Development Corporation of each state or union territory, which is the acronym of D in NMDFC. Department, Development, Developed, Derived. Can you tell me the acronym, the full form of NMDFC and what D stands for? Yes, it is Development, National Minorities Development and Finance Corporation. इसको कहते हैं स्टैटिक बैंकिंग। मैंने आपको हमेशा बोला है बैंक एग्जाम में और या फिर बैंक प्रमोशन एग्जाम में 3 टाइप के क्वेश्चन आते हैं, करेंट फिनेंशियल अवेयरनेस ऑफ लास्ट 1 year, static banking questions and professional banking questions. So if you go through RBI circular gist, you can find 3 types of question out of it. The GMS, Gold Monetization Scheme, was launched in which year with an aim to mobilize gold held by the households and institutions and facilitate its use for productive purposes? 16, 20, 19 or 15? When it is launched? It is a flagship program of the UPA government. They thought that it will be a massive success, but there is a cold response to this. So it is in the year 2015, just 1 year after the election of the first election of the NDA government. Okay, it is 2015. If you know the description, you will remember things clearly. So that's why I describe a lot during the process. I give additional examples. So these are the strike points or strike points for memorization point of view. As per August 2022 RBI circular, premature redemption under gold monetization scheme will be payable in which form? Rupee or physical gold? Physical gold only, rupee only, or none of the above? What should be the right answer? प्रवीण सर का भी स्टैटिक के सारे क्लासेस चल रहे हैं. ऑल द क्लासेस ऑफ प्रवीण सर इज गोइंग ऑन. टुडे वी हैव पोस्टपोन्ड इट. सर विल बी टेकिंग केयर ऑफ इट. डोंट वरी. Okay, all SAR's class will remain intact. Maybe we'll have a separate session on daytime on Ganesh Chaturthi, on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi, if wider part of India is having holiday that day. I have seen that some part of, only in the parts of nearby states of Maharashtra is having holiday. But if you get it, a confirmation from all of you, we'll have a daytime session too. Yes. So the right answer over here is rupee only. Both cannot be the right answer because both is the way of payout. Rupee is only when premature withdrawal, and you can opt for physical gold when it is payable upon maturity. Okay. Yes, as per revised master circular, the day NRLM, what is the drawing power of first year in case of CCL? Cash credit loan, what is the first year's drawing power? We discussed it earlier. So please tell me. Kindly take more class on banking. Yes, I am also preparing similar classes of professional banking like we started last week. So 50 odd top level MCQs are covered on the professional banking. 300 more is pending. I am preparing that. I will be covering top level MCQs of banking on that particular series. So don't worry, these classes are intact. I will be taking them. Yes. So it is 1.5 lakhs first year. For the first year, 6 time of the corpus. Corpus is the amount in the savings bank, and our minimum 1.5 lakh, which was earlier rupees 1 lakh. It is now revised to 1.5 and 6 time of the corpus. On the basis of an assessment of the current and evolving macroeconomic situation, the MPC, which met in August 5, 2022, decided to increase the LAF by how many basis points? Sometimes the question is long. I always put long questions in front of you to confuse you, but the point is simple. Our LAF is increased by how many percentage? Or what is the current LAF? Very good. The answer is C. It is 50 basis point and the LAF stands at 5.4. Next question. What is the current SDF rate? Standing facility rate. What is the current SDF rate? You must be knowing about SDF. Please look at my SDF short video on SDF. It is 5.15 without wasting your time, not BB. It is 5.15. 5.65 is the MSF. What is current? Okay. What is the current standing facility rate? So years are coming. I think this is a misplaced thing. Reserve Bank of India, Scheduled Commercial. Okay, so this question was essentially, I will be rectifying this question before giving you the PDFs. What is the, for how many years the small finance bank is to be kept in category 2 bank to get a category 1 license? It is 2 years. It is 2 years. The right question here is, For how many years the small finance bank is to be in category 2 bank, AD category 2, to get a license in AD category 1? The right answer is for 2 years. Okay. For AD category 1 license, what should be the minimum net worth of the small finance bank? For AD category 1 license, what should be the minimum net worth of the small finance bank? It is 500 crore. Okay. And the risk, the CAR should not be less than 15%. Non-performing assets should not be above 6%, and uh, in last quarter, and should have made profit in last 2 years. RBI issued guidelines for opening of new places of business and installation of automated teller machines by district central cooperative banks. For this, what is the prescribed capital adequacy ratio? What is the prescribed capital adequacy ratio for the cooperative banks, central cooperative banks, to open new places of business? It is nothing but 9%. When two parties combine all their swaps into one master swap, creating one net payment instead of many between the parties, it is called hedging, swaps, bilateral netting, multilateral netting. Your answers, please. When two parties combine all their swaps to convert it into a master swap, this same is called hedging, swaps, bilateral netting, or multilateral netting. It is bilateral netting. New concept. Keep it in mind. The RBI allowed relaxation of SPDs to operate in the foreign exchange market alongside banks with an aim to enable their customers to hedge the currency risk. So, what is the acronym of P in SPD? Progress, percentage, primary, preventive. It is standalone primary dealers. PD means primary dealers. Standalone primary dealers. Standalone means only depending on the business of a primary dealer. Standalone, running all alone. It's standalone. Okay. So a strong netting system generally gives rise to a thriving derivative market as it provides the most accurate picture of a company's financial position, solvency, liquidity risk, or both A and C, financial position and liquidity risk. Your answers, please. Yes. Or there is another option E, both A, B, C. The answer is a strong netting system generally gives rise to a thriving derivative market, and company, it gives a picture of a company's financial position, solvency, and liquidity risk. So the answer is E. Sorry. The answer is E, A, B, C. Both, all of them are true. All of these are true. Okay, thank you. Thank you for rectifying. Thank you for giving the right answer. All of these are true. We have a technical glitch, but while you will be getting the PDF or downloading the PDF, you will be getting the rectified one. I will take our technical team to take a note of these two mistakes in the MCQ point. Next question. RBI has allowed standalone primary dealers to offer all foreign exchange market making facilities. They are also allowed to to participate in FCS OIS transaction. So what is the acronym of I in FCS OIS? What is the acronym here? Induced, industry, Indian, indexed, or none of the above. It is foreign currency settled overnight indexed swap. Foreign currency settled overnight indexed swap. Clear? Probably the last question for the night. Uh, Bilateral Netting of Qualified Financial Contracts Act was introduced in the Parliament and received parliamentary assent. It is also known as which Act? Bilateral Netting Act, Bilateral Act, Qualified Financial Contract Act, or Netting Act? Safe is right. Safe is right. The right answer is D. It is Netting Act. Okay? It is Netting Act. It is known as Netting Act. Clear? And with this, we conclude this very informative session of RBI Circular Gist. If it is useful for you, please leave a comment or a thumbs up. And you can also share with your friends preparing for lateral entry, promotional exams, professional banking exams like JIIB, CIIB, CCP, etc. It is one of the most useful sessions. And thank you for all your comments. Monju is saying excellent. Aspirant guide, thank you for your wonderful session. Keep continue more. It will take care of it. Share it, Max. Do like, do thumbs up, and you can even download the dedicated PDF from 1st of January. From 2 years you can download, but most useful is from 1 year. You can download this. This month's MCQ PDF will be uploaded in our website within 1 or 2 hours of the session concluded. So thank you for your love, support, and time. You were watching us live in LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Wherever you are watching us, do join us in YouTube and do follow, like, and subscribe. Thank you for your love and support and time, for which we are being known as India's most professional banking lateral entry platform. Thank you.